And we are with Mr. Joey Defrancesco. Joey, welcome back to Rochester.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Name of the new album is called?
In the Key of the Universe.
What inspired that? Because there's so many amazing sounds and just a whole nother palette of sounds that you're using with this new album, using, of course, Troy Roberts and Billy Hart and Pharoah Sanders as well. So what inspired it?
Well, just the growth of just the direction my life is going in. My music goes the same way. It's just taking on a more, it always has been coming from a spiritual place. It's just I'm more aware of it and understand it more. So it just keeps moving more in that direction.
Speaking with Joey Defrancesco, Joey, talk about growing up in the 80s with Kurt Rosenwinkel and Christian McBride and Questlove and that whole generation of, I guess, our generation of folks who were discovering the music, and now here we are.
Here we are, yeah. Those are all my buddies. You know, we came up together. Me and McBride were we are great best friends, man. And so we're getting ready to do some stuff together too. So there's a lot of exciting things coming up. It's great growing up there.
It's kind of funny that growing up as the kids back in the 80s and early 90s, and all of a sudden you look around and all of a sudden, when did this happen? When did we get older?
Yeah, it doesn't seem any different when we're together. It's the same silliness going on, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, it's hopefully never grow up. So the next crop of kids are coming up now who are trying to make jazz and find their own identity. What advice would you give them in 2019?
Well, to just keep doing what they're doing and never forget about how much listening you have to do to everything that came before you and whatever's going around with you now. And remember to keep tradition no matter what. That's the vocabulary you have to learn first before you can do anything else. You have to make sure you know the tradition.
Why is that important?
Because then the music has more depth to it when you play it. There's a lot of musicians that play and they don't learn, in my opinion, enough tradition. And it doesn't have the same amount of depth in there, and you have so many things to go back and to expand upon from the tradition. And without that, it's like not learning how to speak and know the alphabet. You know, you have to do that before you can do anything else.
Speaking with Joey Defrancesco, so Joey, tell me about the idea of pulling in Pharoah Sanders for this project.
Well, I met Pharoah in 2004 in person the first time. I had been going to check him out at gigs for years. I was a big fan. And when I met him, I was playing in a club in Vienna, Austria, and another friend of mine was playing with Pharoah, Orrin Evans, piano player. So he came out to see. I was playing there for a week, and he came and caught us. He found out we were in town. I said, "What are you doing here, man?" "I'm playing with Pharoah tomorrow night." I said, "Oh, man, ask him to come by the gig." I was like, I don't think he's going to do that. And he did. He's a friend of mine's playing, man. And they brought him out, and Pharoah came in, and he heard us playing, and then he asked if he could sit in. And I was like, oh, my goodness, absolutely. And he played a couple of tunes. It was incredible. And we talked about doing things over the years together. It just never came together just quite right. But, you know, the direction I was going in musically and the way my thoughts are, this was definitely the right time. So we revisited that, and here we are.
Speaking with Joey Defrancesco, I was listening to the album, and it kind of reminded me of the classic Doug Karn albums and Larry Young albums of the 60s and early 70s, but just with a 21st century vibe to it. I guess with that growth as an artist, sometimes artists get to a point where, you know what, I'm good. But for you, you seem to keep searching, and that search seems to resemble itself in the music. Is that just me, or is that what's going on with you?
I hope so, man, you know, because I have so many interests in music, and I'm always pushing forward, but I often also look back, you know, because you have to look back to go forward, right? So all of those things are involved, and I just keep wanting to go forward and do more things and hear, because I have so much music in my mind, I never know exactly which direction I'm going to go in, you know, so.
And what does it mean to play here in Rochester?
It's great to play here. You know, my family all comes from Niagara Falls, New York. So I spent a lot of time in Niagara Falls in this area. It's very similar. So just this part of the country, I love it.
Joey, thanks so much.
My pleasure, Derek.